Yes, we are talking about CF Montreal. 28 points, 6 wins, 18 losses, 10 draws. They finished 13th in the Eastern Conference. They fired their head coach after 5 games. They had a horrid start to the 2025 season, making Marco Donadel the interim manager. He is still the interim manager. They have not confirmed that he's going to be the full-time manager going forward. They have not brought in a new guy. And time is ticking. Season starts February 21st. So it's going to be interesting to see if they do go out and bring in a new manager. Their top goal scorers were Prince Owusu with 13 and Dante Seeley with 9. Dante Seeley is gone. He's been shipped over to the Colorado Rapids. So you've lost one of your goal scorers. Giacomo Veroni, who was a star who originally came to the league from Juventus, went over to New England Revolution and then didn't really find success there. He found a home at Montreal. He missed a lot of time due to injury, and then they did not pick up his contract. So the player has since departed the club. He hasn't signed anywhere, but he's not going to be playing for CF Montreal. Christian, I look at every team in the league, and I'm not going to lie to you. This is the one that, the one bright spot for them is they won the Canadian Championship last year to get into the CONCACAF Champions League, but this isn't a team. I'm just going to be honest, and full respect to CF Montreal fans. I don't know where this club is going. They are so lost.
I have in my notes, as you stated, literally first thing, horrific start, right? Started 0-4-1, which led to Courtois being fired after just 5 games, like you said. I don't really know where this is going either. I think we're leaning towards a gap year here, probably for Montreal. They're probably expecting more of the same. Next year we'll probably be talking about them first. I think we're looking at probably the worst roster, at least right now. There's still some time. I probably expect the interim manager to go ahead and manage this season, and they're going to just kind of see how it goes, I think.
Yeah, and you talk about we're looking at the worst roster. This might be the team next year that we talk about before anyone else, but let's go ahead and take a look at who they've signed. Dagger Don Porhalsen from Orlando. He's a midfielder from Orlando City. That's their best signing right now. They've brought in Brian Vieira, defender from RSL, and they've brought in Daniel Rios, free agent from Vancouver. Obviously, Vancouver found success last year, making it to MLS Cup. So they're kind of going the DC United direction of retooling with MLS veterans. But I'm not as excited about the MLS veterans that they're bringing in. And they're not like longtime veterans like DC United's playing with. You talk about Dagger Don Porhalsen, who hasn't been in the league that long. And there's so much turmoil as well. We talk about, I know this doesn't really matter or translate to on field, but this is a club, Christian, when we first started watching, they were Montreal Impact. They changed their name. They've changed their logo a couple times. Last season, there was pushback from the supporter section in Montreal about wanting a change of direction. They wanted their club potentially to have a change in management and in general management, if you know what I'm saying. The club acknowledged to the supporters that they were heading towards a rebuild and a retool, and they were going to change the culture of this club. And they said how they owe it to the fans after the fans voiced their frustrations. And so far, maybe they're going the long route, as you've stated, and they're going to, maybe they take this as a gap year. They retool before the 2027 season, and everybody knows that starting in fall of 2027, we're going to switch to playing during the other half of the calendar year, going from July to May instead of February to December, which will be interesting because you have that that short season to start off 2027 that's going to run from February to May only. So I do think there's some teams at the bottom who are just, let's wait until 2028 to really get going. And I think Montreal is the first one out of all of the teams with that mindset that we're going to talk about. Because with what they've done so far, it does not look like they're going for success in 2026.
But well, I wouldn't say that they're trying to stink it up. I think that they're obviously wanting their young guys to develop this year. I mean, we're talking guys like Jalen Neal, talking about Sunzi Ibrahim, but then they
How could I forget
also
Jalen
have
Neal, LA Galaxy legend? My bad.
and they also have Ivan Jaime Jamie. I think it's Jaime was going to be their sole DP this year. So they still have two open DP spots. I mean, you never know the way that the league goes. If they can somehow get off to a hot start, we could be looking at a midsummer move for them. And that's just the thing with MLS is you just never know.
They're one big player, maybe one DP signing. I mean, we saw Vancouver was already good, so it's not fair for me to compare these two teams, and it's also evil for me to talk about Vancouver when we're talking about Montreal. But obviously, they went out and brought in. Oh my God! Thomas Mueller. Excuse me. They brought in Thomas Mueller, and that just elevated them to the topper tier. That took them from like a good team to a great team once you brought him in last season. I'll go ahead and get to my key to success. I don't think there's much to talk on Montreal. This is a club that is lost right now. And I think Christian and I are as lost on them as they are on themselves. And my key to success, find a path forward and hire a manager. There are so many good managers out there looking for jobs. I don't know if Ronnie Dyla has found a home yet. He might have signed, in the Scottish League or something, and I just forgot about it. But maybe Ronnie Dyla is a good guy to bring in. There's plenty of experienced managers to bring in. Even if you want to move forward with Marco Donadell, you can do that, but find a path forward. You need to find that first step to start elevating the club. And if you really mean what you said to the supporters about turning this club around, you got to start showing some success and showing some initiative. And that's my biggest issue with them right now. I mean, sending Dante Sealy to Colorado was I was shocked when it happened. It made no sense to me. I think you got a good prospect there with him. So just find your footing and get going in the right direction is my key to success.
Yeah. My three X factors here are a bit of a stretch for Montreal, but we're going to start off with designated player usage or lack thereof. I think if Montreal makes a move for one DP, their entire offense can change, as I previously stated. Why this matters? Montreal has deliberately cleared DP and GAM flexibility. What they do with it is the biggest lever on their roster. Going into number two here, I think Prince Owusu, finisher or volume shooter. Owusu showed he can get chances, but 2026 hinges on his efficiency. They kind of rolled into him being their sole guy in the attack right now. My angle here is if Owusu improves shot selection and conversion, then he's a legitimate double-digit scorer. My number three, youth breakout. I think every surprise MLS playoff team gets a breakout year from a young attacker. Guys we're looking at here is possibly Olgar Escobar. Can he become a reliable top-end winger for them? Would be huge for them.
All right. And finally, Christian, we always have to ask the last question that we do when we wrap up our conversation about these teams ahead of the 2026 season. I think the big one for Montreal, I think we both have expectations and it'll be interesting when we show our official predictions for the 2026 season, where we have them on the table, but I think we're both going to have them pretty low, if not bottom of the table. If you are, the question I want to ask you, if you're the GM of this club, what's your next step? I mean, right now it is January 21st. We are actually, as filming this, we did this perfectly. As filming this, we're a month away from the season. Month away. What would be your next move?
I think as a GM of Montreal, I think we're probably going to roll into this year like they are at this point. You're going to play your youth. You're gonna see what you got, and then you're going to reassess in the summertime. I think in the summertime, or you're going to use the time from now to summer, and you're going to try and find a second DP. I think you're going to find the guy who's going to play next to Owusu, and you're going to figure out what you're doing from summer on. I think at this point, you're just kind of rolling with what you got. I think going into this year, as a Montreal fan, I'm maybe not as excited about contending, but I'm more so excited in seeing what our young guys can do and for the future.
All right, let us know, fans, what you think in the comments down below. If you're a supporter of Montreal, what are your expectations going into the season? What do you feel like your team needs to change? And if you're a mutual fan of MLS, where do you have Montreal ranking in 2026?